Hello, and welcome. Welcome to this quiet space we're creating together. Welcome to this time that belongs only to you, to rest, to peace, to the gentle unfolding of understanding. I'm so glad you're here. Right now, in this very moment, you've done something quite remarkable. You've chosen to pause. In a world that constantly pulls at your attention, that demands more, faster, louder, you've decided to slow down, to lie down, to listen. This choice itself is an act of wisdom, an act of self-care, an act of returning home to yourself. Take a moment, if you will, to settle in. Adjust your pillow, pull your blanket a little higher if you'd like. Find that position where your body can truly let go, where nothing needs to be held, where you can simply rest. There's no rush. We have all the time in the world. These next hours belong entirely to you. As you settle, you might notice your breathing. You don't need to change it, don't need to make it deeper or slower just yet. Simply notice it. The gentle rise and fall of your chest, or perhaps the subtle movement in your belly. Your breath has been with you since your very first moment in this world, and it will accompany you all the way through. Right now, in this quiet moment, your breath is here, faithfully continuing, asking nothing of you but to be witnessed. Tonight, we're going on a journey together. Not a journey that requires you to go anywhere or do anything, but journey inward. A journey through the fascinating landscape of your own mind, your own nervous system, your own magnificent brain. We'll explore how an ancient practice, yoga, which has existed for thousands of years, creates profound states of calm and peace within you. But here's what makes this journey special. You don't need to have ever done yoga to benefit from what we'll discover together. You don't need to be flexible or strong or experienced. You don't even need to remember everything you hear tonight. In fact, it's perfectly wonderful if you drift off to sleep partway through. That's not failing at listening, that's succeeding at resting. And rest, deep rest, is exactly what we're here for. The story we'll explore together is really about you. About the intricate, beautiful systems within your body and brain that are designed, that have evolved over millions of years, to find peace, to return to calm, to heal and restore themselves when given the chance. These systems are working within you right now, even as you lie here listening. Your body knows how to rest. Your brain knows how to calm down. Sometimes, it just needs permission. Sometimes, it just needs the right conditions. And tonight, you're creating those conditions. You might wonder, why spend hours learning about yoga and the brain? Because understanding has a power all its own. When you know that the tightness in your chest can soften with a few deep breaths, when you understand that your racing thoughts can slow down through simple awareness, when you realize that peace isn't something you have to earn or achieve, but something you can access right now, this very moment, everything changes. Knowledge becomes power, and power becomes peace. But even more than knowledge, tonight is about experience. The experience of lying here, safe and comfortable. The experience of letting your thoughts slow down like leaves settling after a gust of wind. The experience of your muscles softening, your jaw unclenching, your shoulders dropping away from your ears. This experience, this felt sense of ease, is teaching your nervous system something profound, that it's safe to let go. That relaxation is available. That peace is possible. Your brain is an incredible organ. Right now, even as you rest, it's processing these words, creating meaning from sound. It's monitoring your body, making tiny adjustments to your breathing and heart rate. It's storing memories, consolidating learning, preparing you for tomorrow. All of this happening automatically, without you having to think about it or manage it. Your brain is taking care of you, always. And here's something beautiful, your brain is also listening. Not just to these words, but to the signals from your body. It notices when you're lying down, when you're still. It registers the softness of your pillow, the weight of your blanket. And from all these signals, it begins to understand, this is a time for rest. This is a time for healing. This is a time to let the guard down, to turn off the alarm systems, to shift into the mode of restoration and renewal. In the ancient tradition of yoga, there's a teaching that peace is your natural state. Not something you have to create, but something you return to, like a river finding its way back to the sea. All the stress, the tension, the worry, these are like debris floating on the surface of that river. They're real, yes, but they're not the river itself. Beneath all of that, deeper down, there's a current of calm that never stops flowing. Tonight, we're going to sink down beneath the surface debris, down to that deeper current where peace has been waiting for you all along. Modern neuroscience, with all its sophisticated brain scanners and careful research, has discovered something the yogis knew thousands of years ago, that your mind and body are not separate. They're one unified system, constantly communicating, constantly influencing each other. A thought can make your heart race. A deep breath can quiet your mind. A gentle stretch can release emotions you didn't even know you were holding. And all of this happens through measurable, understandable processes in your brain and nervous system. This is what makes tonight's journey so fascinating. We're going to explore the bridge between ancient wisdom and modern science. We'll discover how practices developed thousands of years ago, through careful observation and experimentation, actually change the physical structure of your brain. How they alter the chemistry of your nervous system. How they create real, lasting transformation that you can feel in your body and see in your life. But we'll do this gently, softly, with plenty of time for the ideas to sink in, for the understanding to settle into your bones. There's no test tomorrow, no quiz to pass, just an opportunity to learn about yourself, about the incredible capacity for calm that lives within you, waiting to be activated, waiting to be remembered. As we begin this journey, I invite you to release any expectations. You don't need to stay awake for all of it. You don't need to understand every detail. You don't even need to agree with everything you hear. Just allow the words to wash over you like a gentle stream, taking with you whatever resonates, whatever helps, whatever brings you peace. The rest can simply flow past. Your only job tonight, if we can call it a job, is to rest. To allow. To receive. Your brain and body will do the rest. They know how to absorb what's useful, how to integrate what's helpful, how to use this time of quiet receptivity for healing and restoration. Notice now, if you will, how you're feeling in this moment. Perhaps a little more settled than when we began. Perhaps your breathing has deepened slightly. Perhaps there's a softness beginning to spread through your body, a subtle releasing of tension you didn't even know you were carrying. This is already the beginning of the process. This is your nervous system responding to safety, to stillness, to the invitation to rest. In a moment, we'll begin our deeper exploration of how yoga calms the brain. We'll travel through the fascinating landscape of your nervous system, discovering mechanisms and processes that are working within you right now, in this very moment. We'll meet different parts of your brain, learn their names, understand their functions. But more importantly, we'll feel their effects. We'll experience what it's like when these systems shift from stress to peace, from tension to ease, from doing to simply being. And through it all, your breath will be there, a faithful companion. I anchor you can return to whenever you need to, a reminder that in this moment, right now, you're safe. You're here. You're breathing. And that's enough. More than enough. That's everything. So take one more deep breath with me now. A gentle inhale, filling your lungs with fresh possibility. And a slow exhale, releasing anything you no longer need to carry. Beautiful. You're ready. Your body is ready. Your mind is ready. Even if parts of you feel restless or uncertain, even if sleep feels far away right now, you're exactly where you need to be. Everything else will unfold in its own perfect time. Let's begin our journey together, into the calm, into the peace, into the beautiful understanding of how yoga guides your magnificent brain toward rest. Gentle pause, then continue with the original opening. Tonight, we're going on a gentle journey together, exploring how the ancient practice of yoga creates a sanctuary of calm within your mind. So settle in, let your body sink deeper into comfort, and allow these words to wash over you like a warm, peaceful tide. Imagine, if you will, that your brain is like a vast, bustling city at the end of a long day. Lights flicker in every window, traffic moves through countless streets, and the hum of activity fills the air. This is your brain on stress, with its 86 billion neurons all firing, communicating, creating the constant chatter of thought. But yoga, this beautiful practice that has existed for over 5,000 years, knows how to gently dim those lights, one by one, guiding your inner city toward rest. When you first settle into a yoga pose, even something as simple as sitting cross-legged with your hands resting softly on your knees, something remarkable begins to happen in the landscape of your mind. Your brain's amygdala, that small almond-shaped structure deep within your temporal lobe, starts to quiet down. The amygdala is your fear center, your alarm system, always scanning for danger, always ready to sound the sirens. But as you breathe slowly and stretch gently, this vigilant guardian begins to soften, to trust, to to release its tight grip on your nervous system. And here's where the story becomes even more beautiful. As your amygdala relaxes, your prefrontal cortex, the wise elder of your brain located right behind your forehead, begins to glow with increased activity. This is the part of you that can observe, that can choose, that can say, I am safe, I am here, I am calm. Through yoga, you're literally strengthening the connection between your thinking brain and your emotional brain, building bridges of peace where once there might have been canyons of anxiety. But let us travel deeper into this inner landscape. Within your brain, there exists a remarkable chemical called GABA, or gamma-aminobutyric acid. Think of GABA as the gentle librarian of your nervous system, walking through the crowded halls of your mind, softly saying, "Shoo, it's time to rest now." Research has shown that a single 60-minute yoga session can increase GABA levels in your brain by as much as 27%. This isn't just relaxation you're imagining, it's a measurable, chemical transformation happening within you. As GABA levels rise, like a tide of tranquility washing through your neural pathways, something else begins to shift. Your parasympathetic nervous system, often called the rest and digest system, starts to take the lead. Picture two forces within you, the sympathetic nervous system, like an accelerator pedal, always ready to speed you up and prepare you for action, and the parasympathetic system, like a soft brake, gently slowing everything down. Yoga is the foot that presses that brake, telling your heart it can beat a little slower, telling your breath it can deepen and lengthen, telling every cell in your body that this moment is safe. And your breath, your breath is the golden thread that weaves through this entire tapestry. When you practice pranayama, the yogic breathing techniques, you're doing something extraordinary. You're taking control of the one part of your autonomic nervous system that you can consciously influence. With each slow, intentional breath, you're sending signals through your vagus nerve, that wandering pathway that connects your brain to your heart, your lungs, your digestive system. This nerve is like a telephone line carrying messages of peace, and conscious breathing is you, dialing directly to every corner of your body, saying all is well. Studies have revealed that yogic breathing can actually change the electrical patterns in your brain. When you extend your exhalation, making it longer than your inhalation, you activate specific areas in your brainstem that signal safety to your entire nervous system. Your heart rate naturally decreases, and something called heart rate variability increases. This variability, the subtle changes in the time between each heartbeat, is actually a sign of a healthy, resilient nervous system. High heart rate variability means your body is flexible, adaptable, able to flow between states of rest and activity with grace. Now, let's follow the story to the realm of your brain waves. Your brain is always humming with electrical activity, creating different patterns depending on what you're doing. When you're alert and focused, beta waves dance quickly through your cortex. But as you move into a yoga practice, especially as you hold poses and synchronize your movement with your breath, your brain begins to produce more alpha waves. These are the waves of relaxed awareness, the feeling of being peacefully present. And in deeper states, perhaps during savasana, that final resting pose, theta waves begin to emerge, the same waves that appear in the threshold between waking and sleeping, in that dreamy, peaceful state where healing happens. The beauty continues to unfold when we consider your hippocampus, the seahorse-shaped structure in your brain responsible for memory and learning. Chronic stress causes this precious structure to actually shrink, like a plant wilting from too much harsh sun. But yoga, with its gentle movements and meditative focus, helps your hippocampus to flourish again. Regular practitioners show increased gray matter density in this region, meaning the very structure of their brains is transforming, becoming more resilient, more capable of forming new memories and learning new things. And speaking of gray matter, that precious tissue that makes up the outer layer of your brain, yoga has been shown to preserve and even increase it in multiple regions. As we age, gray matter naturally decreases, like the slow erosion of a riverbank. But those who maintain a regular yoga practice show significantly less age-related decline. It's as if yoga is a gentle rain that nourishes the landscape of your mind, keeping it lush and vibrant year after year. Let us journey now to the realm of cortisol, your primary stress hormone. Imagine cortisol as a messenger that runs through your body during times of challenge, preparing you for action. In small doses, cortisol is helpful, necessary even. But in modern life, this messenger often runs frantically, day and night, never resting, never delivering the all-clear signal. Yoga has been shown to significantly reduce cortisol levels, sometimes by as much as 25% after just one session. Over time, regular practice can reset your entire stress response system, teaching your body that not every moment is an emergency, that there is time and space for peace. As cortisol decreases, other beautiful chemicals begin to rise. Serotonin, often called the happiness molecule, increases during and after yoga practice. This neurotransmitter helps regulate your mood, your sleep, your appetite, and your sense of well-being. It's like sunshine spreading through the corridors of your mind, brightening every corner it touches. Similarly, dopamine, the neurotransmitter of reward and motivation, also increases, creating a natural sense of contentment and satisfaction that has nothing to do with external achievement and everything to do with simply being present in your body. Your brain also begins to produce more endorphins during yoga, those natural pain relievers and mood elevators that create a gentle sense of euphoria. But unlike the intense rush that comes from high-intensity exercise, the endorphin release from yoga is subtle, sustained, like a warm glow rather than a blazing fire. This sustained release helps explain why practitioners often report feeling peaceful and content for hours after their practice ends. Now, let's explore the fascinating world of your brain's default mode network. This is a collection of brain regions that become active when you're not focused on the outside world, when your mind is wandering, daydreaming, or ruminating. For many people, this network can become overactive, leading to excessive worry, anxiety, and that feeling of being trapped in your own thoughts. Meditation and mindful yoga have been shown to actually quiet this network, reducing activity in the areas associated with self-referential thinking and worry. It's as if yoga teaches your brain a new way of being, one where you don't have to constantly narrate and analyze every experience, but can simply rest in the direct feeling of being alive. The story continues in your insula, a part of your brain that helps you sense what's happening inside your body, what scientists call interoception. Through yoga, you develop greater awareness of your internal states, your heartbeat, your breath, the subtle sensations in your muscles and organs. This increased interoceptive awareness is associated with better emotional regulation and greater overall well-being. You become fluent in the language of your own body, able to recognize what you need before stress accumulates into something overwhelming. And let us not forget the anterior cingulate cortex, a region involved in attention and emotional regulation. Studies using brain imaging have shown that this area becomes more active during meditation and mindful yoga practices. It's like strengthening a muscle, this ability to direct your attention where you choose and to regulate your emotional responses with greater skill and grace. The inflammatory response in your body and brain also changes through regular yoga practice. Chronic inflammation is like a low fire burning throughout your system, contributing to everything from depression to physical illness. Yoga has been shown to reduce inflammatory markers in the blood, including cytokines like IL-6 and TNF-alpha. This anti-inflammatory effect reaches your brain as well, potentially protecting against cognitive decline and mood disorders. Your entire system begins to cool, to heal, to return to its natural state of balance. There's also a fascinating connection between yoga and your telomeres, the protective caps on the ends of your chromosomes that shorten as you age. Research suggests that regular yoga and meditation practices may actually slow the shortening, effectively slowing cellular aging. While this happens throughout your body, it includes the cells of your brain, potentially preserving cognitive function and mental clarity as the years pass. Your circulation improves during yoga practice as well. Certain poses, particularly inversions and twists, help increase blood flow to your brain, delivering fresh oxygen and nutrients while carrying away metabolic waste products. Even gentle poses can enhance circulation, ensuring that every part of your brain receives the resources it needs to function optimally. Think of it as a renewal, or refreshing of your entire neural landscape with each practice. The practice of yoga also enhances something called neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to form new neural connections and reorganize itself. Every time you learn a new pose, coordinate your breath with movement, or maintain focus during a balance, you're creating new pathways in your brain. This plasticity is what allows you to change, to grow, to heal from past patterns that no longer serve you. Your brain remains malleable, capable of transformation at any age. Consider also the role of mindfulness, that quality of present moment awareness that yoga cultivates. When you're truly mindful, fully present with what is, your brain's fear centers quiet down because fear lives in the future, in worrying about what might happen. Mindfulness anchors you here, now, in this breath, this sensation, this moment. And in this moment, right now, as you lie here listening, everything is okay. Your brain registers this safety, this peace, and begins to trust that perhaps the world is not as threatening as it once seemed. The practice also activates your mirror neurons, those remarkable cells that fire both when you perform an action and when you observe someone else performing it. In a yoga class, or even watching a peaceful video, these neurons help you embody the calm and centeredness you observe. Your brain literally mirrors the tranquility it perceives, creating that state within yourself. Even now, thinking about peaceful, flowing yoga movements, your mirror neurons are gently guiding your nervous system towards stillness. Your sleep architecture improves with regular yoga practice as well. Sleep studies have shown that yoga practitioners fall asleep faster, sleep more deeply, and wake less frequently during the night. This happens because yoga helps regulate your circadian rhythms, that internal clock that governs your sleep-wake cycle. The practice also reduces nighttime rumination, that tendency to replay the day's events or worry about tomorrow when you're trying to rest. Instead, your mind learns to settle, to release, to trust that sleep is safe and restorative. The social engagement system, a neural platform that supports calm states and social behavior, also responds to yoga. Through the regulation of facial muscles, the muscles of the middle ear, and the voice, yoga and breath work help tone the ventral vagal pathway, which is responsible for feelings of safety and connection. Even practicing alone, you're strengthening these neural pathways, making it easier to feel calm and connected in your daily life. Yoga also influences your perception of pain. The practice doesn't just distract you from discomfort, it actually changes how your brain processes pain signals. Regular practitioners show decreased activity in pain-related brain regions when exposed to the same stimulus as non-practitioners. It's as if the practice raises your threshold, giving you greater capacity to be with discomfort without suffering, both physical and emotional. The executive functions of your brain, those higher-order thinking skills like planning, decision-making, and impulse control, also strengthen through yoga. The prefrontal cortex, where these functions live, shows increased activity and connectivity in regular practitioners. This means you become better able to pause before reacting, to choose your response rather than being driven by automatic patterns. In a world that often feels overwhelming, this capacity for wise choice is a profound gift. Your brain's reward system also reorients through practice. Rather than seeking external rewards and stimulation, yoga helps you find satisfaction in internal states of peace and presence. The nucleus accumbens, a key structure in reward processing, responds to the intrinsic pleasure of simply being, breathing, moving with awareness. This shift from external to internal reward is deeply calming, freeing you from the constant chase for something outside yourself to make you feel complete. The practice also supports your glymphatic system, a waste clearance system in your brain that's most active during sleep. By promoting deeper, more restorative sleep and reducing stress, yoga helps the system function optimally, clearing away the proteins and metabolic byproducts that accumulate during waking hours. It's like a nightly housekeeping service, tidying up your neural landscape while you rest. Yoga's effects on anxiety are particularly well documented. The practice reduces activity in the amygdala, as we've discussed, but it also strengthens the connections between the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala, giving you greater control over fear responses. Over time, situations that once triggered intense anxiety begin to feel more manageable. Your brain learns that you can handle uncertainty, that you can stay present even when things feel difficult. For those dealing with depression, yoga offers hope as well. The practice has been shown to be as effective as some medications for mild to moderate depression, working through multiple pathways, increasing neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, reducing inflammation, improving sleep, and fostering a sense of agency and empowerment. Your brain begins to remember that it's capable of creating states of well-being, that happiness is not something that only comes from outside but something you can cultivate from within. The oscillations in your brain, those rhythmic patterns of electrical activity, also synchronize during yoga and meditation. Different brain regions begin to work in harmony, like an orchestra finding its rhythm. This coherence is associated with feelings of inner peace and unity, that sense of everything in your mind and body working together rather than pulling in different directions. Your sense of self, that felt experience of being you, is also influenced by yoga. The practice can quiet the areas of the brain involved in self-referential thinking, those constant thoughts about me and mine. In moments of deep practice, the boundaries between self and environment can soften, creating a sense of connection and oneness that is deeply peaceful. This isn't losing yourself, but rather finding a more expansive sense of self that includes rather than separates. The practice also cultivates what researchers call psychological flexibility, the ability to be present with your experience without trying to control or avoid it. This flexibility is supported by changes in brain regions involved in emotion regulation and cognitive control. You develop a kind of mental agility, able to move with life's changes rather than rigidly resisting them. As we near the end of our journey through the calming effects of yoga on the brain, consider this: every time you practice, you're participating in an ancient tradition that understood, long before modern neuroscience, that the mind and body are not separate, that how you breathe and move and focus your attention can transform your entire experience of being alive. The yogis of thousands of years ago knew what scientists are only now confirming, that you have far more control over your inner state than you might think, that peace is not something you must wait for circumstances to provide, but something you can cultivate through practice. Your brain is not fixed, not unchangeable. It is a living, responsive organ that reflects how you use it, what you practice, what you feed it with your attention. And when you feed it with the slow, intentional movements of yoga, with conscious breath, with moments of stillness, it responds by creating more peace, more resilience, more capacity for joy. This is not magic. This is the beautiful, measurable reality of neuroplasticity, of a brain that can heal and change and grow throughout your entire life. So as you drift now towards sleep, know that every breath you take is already beginning this process. You don't have to be on a yoga mat for these principles to apply. Simply breathing slowly, settling your awareness into your body, allowing your muscles to release their grip, this is yoga. This is the practice. This is your brain, in this very moment, beginning to shift toward calm, toward peace, toward the deep rest that restores and renews. The city lights of your mind are dimming now, one by one. The traffic slows. The chatter quiets. And in this growing stillness, your brain is doing what it knows how to do when you give it permission. It's healing, integrating, preparing you for rest. All the mechanisms we've explored tonight, all those beautiful processes, are available to you always. They are your birthright, built into the very structure of your being. Rest now, knowing that your brain is wise, that your body knows how to heal, that peace is not far away but here, now, in this breath, in this moment of letting go. The ancient practice of yoga has guided countless beings to this same shore of tranquility, and tonight, it guides you too. Let everything soften. Let everything rest. You are safe. You are here. You are calm. And so the journey comes full circle, returning you to the simplest truth, that in stillness, in breath, in presence, your brain finds its way home to peace. May this knowledge comfort you as you drift into sleep, and may you wake tomorrow with the gentle knowing that calm is always available, just a breath away. But our journey through the calming landscapes of yoga and the brain need not end here. There are more pathways to explore, more gentle discoveries to make as we float together through this peaceful night. Let us continue, deeper still, into the profound ways that yoga transforms your inner world. Consider for a moment the basal ganglia, those clusters of neurons deep within your brain that help coordinate movement and habit formation. When you practice yoga regularly, you're not just stretching your muscles, you're training these structures to recognize calm as a habit, as something your body returns to naturally. The basal ganglia learn the pattern of peace, storing it like a favorite song that can be played again and again. Each time you step onto your mat, or even just take a conscious breath, these structures recognize the pattern and help your entire system settle more quickly, more easily than the time before. Your cerebellum, that beautiful structure at the base of your brain that looks like a small, folded tree, also transforms through yoga. Traditionally known as the coordinator of movement and balance, the cerebellum is now understood to play a role in emotional regulation as well. As you hold tree pose or warrior 3, as you find your center while the world seems to sway, your cerebellum is learning more than physical balance. It's learning emotional equilibrium, the ability to stay centered even when life feels unstable. This skill transfers beyond the mat, helping you maintain composure during life's inevitable challenges. The temporal lobes of your brain, situated roughly behind your temples, process sensory input and are involved in memory formation and emotional responses. Yoga, with its emphasis on present moment sensory awareness, the feeling of your feet on the ground, the touch of your hands in prayer position, the sound of your breath, actually strengthens these regions. You become more fully embodied, more able to experience the richness of each moment rather than living entirely in your thoughts. This embodiment is deeply calming because it brings you out of the anxious future and the regretful past into the only moment where peace can truly be found, now. There's also the matter of your brain's white matter, those fiber pathways that connect different regions, allowing them to communicate. While gray matter is where processing happens, white matter is the infrastructure, the highways between cities. Research has shown that meditation and yoga practices can enhance the integrity of white matter tracks, particularly in areas connecting emotional and cognitive centers. This means the different parts of your brain can work together more efficiently, sharing information more smoothly. When your emotional brain and your thinking brain can communicate clearly, you experience less internal conflict, less of that feeling of being at war with yourself. The parietal lobes, located near the top and back of your head, help help you understand your body's position in space and create your sense of self as separate from the environment. During deep meditation or extended yoga practice, activity in parts of the parietal lobes can decrease, which is associated with experiences of boundary dissolution, that peaceful sense of being connected to something larger than yourself. Even subtle shifts in this area can create feelings of expansiveness and peace, a temporary relief from the isolation of feeling entirely separate and alone. Your brain also produces a molecule called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, which acts like fertilizer for your neurons, helping them grow, survive, and form new connections. Yoga and meditation have been shown to increase BDNF levels, particularly in the hippocampus. This means your brain is literally growing new cells and connections in areas crucial for memory, learning, and emotional regulation. Each time you practice, you're nurturing the garden of your mind, encouraging new growth, new possibilities for healing and transformation. The pineal gland, a tiny pine cone-shaped structure deep in your brain, produces melatonin, the hormone that regulates your sleep-wake cycles. Certain yoga practices, particularly those involving forward folds and inversions, may influence pineal gland function, supporting healthy melatonin production. When your melatonin rhythms are balanced, you feel naturally sleepy at night and alert during the day. Your body remembers the ancient rhythm of light and dark, activity and rest, and yoga helps you return to this natural pattern that modern life so often disrupts. The hypothalamus, your brain's master regulator, sits at the intersection of your nervous system and endocrine system, translating thoughts and emotions into hormonal signals that affect your entire body. Yoga influences the hypothalamus in profound ways, helping it coordinate the stress response more skillfully. When the hypothalamus receives signals of safety from your breath, your posture, your conscious relaxation, it adjusts the output of stress hormones accordingly. It's like turning down a thermostat, allowing your whole system to cool from the overheated state of chronic stress to a more balanced, sustainable temperature. Your body also produces oxytocin, sometimes called the love hormone or bonding hormone, during yoga practice. This neurochemical creates feelings of trust, connection, and calm. Interestingly, you don't need to be practicing with others to experience this release. Simply moving your body with care and attention, treating yourself with kindness as you practice, can trigger oxytocin production. You're literally practicing self-love at a biochemical level, teaching your brain that you are worthy of gentleness and care. The fascia throughout your body, that web-like connective tissue that surrounds and supports every muscle, organ, and nerve, is rich with nerve endings. Some researchers now consider fascia to be a sensory organ in its own right. When you stretch and move in yoga, you're stimulating these nerve endings, sending waves of sensation to your brain. This proprioceptive feedback, this constant stream of information about your body's position and state, helps keep you grounded in physical reality rather than lost in anxious thoughts. Your brain receives the message, I am here, I am safe, I am in my body. The lymphatic system, your body's waste removal and immune system, doesn't have a pump like the cardiovascular system does. It relies on movement to circulate. Yoga, with its combination of stretching, twisting, and inversion, acts like a gentle massage for your lymphatic system, helping it clear toxins and cellular debris more efficiently. When your body is cleaner at this cellular level, your brain functions better. The two are intimately connected. You cannot have a clear mind in a toxic body, and yoga addresses both simultaneously. Consider also the role of proprioception, your sense of where your body is in space. Yoga is essentially proprioception training, constantly asking you to sense your alignment, your balance, your positioning. This enhanced proprioceptive awareness has been linked to reduced anxiety and improved emotional regulation. When you know where you are in space, when you feel grounded in your physical form, the existential anxiety of feeling lost or untethered naturally diminishes. You have a home, and that home is your body. The breath, always the breath, deserves even deeper exploration. When you practice Ujjayi breathing, that oceanic breath with a gentle constriction in the back of the throat, you're creating a subtle vibration that stimulates the vagus nerve. This nerve, wandering from your brainstem through your chest and abdomen, is like a highway of calm. Stimulating it sends parasympathetic signals throughout your body, literally activating the relaxation response with each breath. You're playing your nervous system like an instrument, learning to create the notes of peace. The respiratory sinus arrhythmia, that natural variation in heart rate that occurs with breathing, becomes more pronounced during yogic breathing practices. Your heart rate naturally increases slightly on the inhale and decreases on the exhale. When you breathe slowly and deeply, you're enhancing this natural rhythm, which is associated with better emotional regulation and stress resilience. Your heart and lungs are dancing together, and your brain is listening to this rhythm, synchronizing its own patterns to match this peaceful cadence. Yoga also affects your gene expression, actually turning certain genes on and off. This field of study, called epigenetics, has revealed that your genes are not your destiny. The practices you engage in, including yoga, can influence which genes are expressed. Studies have shown that meditation and yoga can downregulate genes associated with inflammation and upregulate genes associated with immune function and stress resilience. You're literally rewriting your biology, one practice at a time, choosing which aspects of your genetic inheritance to amplify and which to quiet. The concept of interoceptive exposure is also important here. Many people with anxiety avoid tuning into their bodies because internal sensations can feel threatening. A racing heart, a tight chest, these can trigger panic. Yoga provides a safe context for interoceptive exposure, for learning to be with physical sensations without fear. Over time, your brain learns that body sensations are just information, not danger. This desensitization can be profoundly liberating, freeing you from the fear of your own physical experience. Your mitochondria, the powerhouses of your cells, also respond to yoga. These tiny organelles produce the energy that fuels every process in your body and brain. Chronic stress damages mitochondria, reducing their efficiency. Yoga, through its combination of movement, breath work, and stress reduction, supports mitochondrial health and even promotes the creation of new mitochondria. When your brain cells have abundant energy, they function optimally, supporting clear thinking, stable mood, and emotional resilience. The practice of yoga nidra, yogic sleep, deserves special mention. This practice guides you into a state between waking and sleeping, where your brain produces slow theta waves similar to those in early sleep stages. In this state, your brain is highly receptive to positive suggestions and imagery. It's as if you're opening a door to your subconscious mind, able to plant seeds of peace and healing that take root in the deeper layers of your psyche. Regular yoga nidra practice has been shown to reduce symptoms of anxiety, depression, and PTSD, helping to rewire trauma-related patterns in the brain. The dura mater, the tough outermost membrane surrounding your brain and spinal cord, is richly innervated and can be a source of headaches and tension. Gentle yoga movements, particularly those that create traction in the spine, can help release tension in this membrane. When the dura releases, you might feel a wave of relief, a sudden easing that flows from your head down through your entire body. Your brain literally has more space, less compression, more freedom to function optimally. Your gut microbiome, that vast community of bacteria living in your intestines, communicates constantly with your brain through what scientists call the gut-brain axis. Stress disrupts the balance of gut bacteria, which in turn affects brain function and mood. Yoga, by reducing stress and stimulating digestion through twists and forward folds, helps maintain a healthy microbiome. These beneficial bacteria produce neurotransmitters, including serotonin and GABA, directly influencing your mental state. In caring for your digestive system through yoga, you're also caring for your mind. The practice of mudras, those symbolic hand gestures used in yoga, may seem purely ritualistic, but they have neurological significance. Your hands have enormous representation in your motor cortex. Manipulating your fingers in specific patterns creates unique patterns of brain activation. Some researchers believe mudras may help channel and focus subtle energies, while others suggest they simply provide another form of mindful, meditative focus. Either way, the combination of intention, attention, and gentle hand movement adds another dimension to yoga's calming effects. Chronic pain often involves a phenomenon called central sensitization, where the brain becomes hypersensitive to pain signals, essentially turning up the volume on discomfort. Yoga has been shown to help reverse this process through multiple mechanisms, improving pain tolerance, reducing fear of movement, decreasing inflammation, and actually changing how the brain processes pain signals. Over time, the volume gets turned back down, and sensations that once felt unbearable become manageable. The autonomic nervous system, which we've touched on before, operates largely outside conscious control, but yoga gives you a doorway to influence it. Through breath, through movement, through directed attention, you can shift the balance from sympathetic, fight or flight, to parasympathetic, rest and digest, activation. This isn't just about feeling calmer in the moment, it's about training your autonomic nervous system to have a lower baseline activation level. Your body learns to idle more quietly, to not rev the engine constantly, to trust that relaxation is safe. The practice of sankalpa, or intention setting, engages your brain's reticular activating system, a network of neurons that filters incoming information based on what you deem important. When you set a clear intention, like I am calm or I am capable, your reticular activating system begins to notice evidence that supports this intention. It's not that you're ignoring reality, but you're training your brain to recognize the calm moments, the capable moments, that you might otherwise overlook when focused solely on problems and threats. Your brain's capacity for attention is not unlimited. It's more like a spotlight than a floodlight. Where you direct that spotlight matters tremendously. Yoga trains your attention, teaching you to focus on breath, on sensation, on the present moment rather than allowing attention to fragment across worries and distractions. This attentional control, supported by changes in brain regions like the anterior cingulate cortex, is one of the most valuable skills you can develop. When you can choose where your attention goes, you can choose, to a large extent, the quality of your experience. The sense of agency, of feeling in control of your life, is crucial for mental health. Learned helplessness, the belief that nothing you do matters, can lead to depression and anxiety. Yoga provides countless small opportunities to experience agency. You choose to breathe deeply, you choose to hold a pose, you choose to relax. Each choice, no matter how small, sends a message to your brain. You are not helpless, you have power, you can influence your state. This accumulation of small empowering moments can rebuild a sense of agency that life's difficulties may have eroded. The somatosensory cortex, which processes touch and bodily sensation, becomes more refined through yoga practice. You develop greater sensitivity to subtle sensations, able to distinguish between different types of tension, different qualities of stretch. This refined sensory awareness allows for better self-regulation. You can catch stress building in your shoulders before it becomes a full-blown tension headache. You can notice shallow breathing before it spirals into anxiety. You become fluent in reading your body's early warning signs and responding with care. Your eyes, those windows to your soul, are also windows to your nervous system. The movements of your eyes are intimately connected to stress states. Rapid, darting eye movements are associated with sympathetic activation, while soft, steady gaze is associated with parasympathetic states. Practices like drishti, or focused gazing, in yoga help calm the nervous system partly through their effect on eye movements. When you soften your gaze or close your eyes in meditation, you're not just blocking out visual distractions, you're activating calming pathways in your brain. The jaw, chronically clenched in so many people, holds tremendous tension that radiates into the brain. The temporomandibular joint is close to several cranial nerves, and tension here can affect your entire nervous system. Yoga's emphasis on releasing the jaw, allowing the tongue to rest softly, letting the teeth separate slightly, addresses this common holding pattern. When the jaw releases, many people experience a wave of calm washing through their entire being. It's a reminder that sometimes the path to a peaceful mind goes through the body. The sounds used in yoga, whether it's the vibration of Om or other mantras, have their own neurological effects. Sound vibrations can be felt throughout the body, and certain frequencies may have calming effects on the nervous system. The act of vocalizing itself requires extended exhalation, which, as we've discussed, activates the parasympathetic nervous system. And the rhythmic, repetitive nature of chanting can be meditative, giving the thinking mind something to focus on while deeper parts of your psyche settle and rest. Your perception of time actually changes during deep yoga and meditation practices. The brain regions involved in temporal processing can shift their activity, creating experiences where time seems to slow down or become irrelevant. This altered time perception can be deeply restful, a break from the constant rushing and deadline-driven consciousness that characterizes modern life. In those timeless moments, anxiety about the future naturally dissolves because there is no future, only this eternal now. The practice of yoga cultivates something researchers call stress inoculation. By regularly placing yourself in mildly challenging situations, like holding a difficult pose or sitting with uncomfortable sensations, you train your stress response system to be more resilient. It's like a vaccine for stress. Small, controlled doses of challenge help your system build strength and adaptability. When real stressors arise in daily life, your stress response is more measured, more proportionate, less likely to spiral into panic or overwhelm. The concept of witness consciousness, cultivated through yoga and meditation, involves observing your thoughts and feelings without identifying with them completely. This metacognitive awareness, the ability to think about your thinking, is associated with activation in brain regions like the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. When you can observe your anxious thoughts rather than being swept away by them, they lose some of their power. You realize that you are not your thoughts, you are the awareness in which thoughts arise and pass away. Your brain's neurochemical balance is also influenced by the timing of your yoga practice. Morning practice can help establish healthy cortisol rhythms, supporting the natural cortisol awakening response that helps you feel alert and energized for the day. Evening practice, especially restorative yoga, can help cortisol levels drop appropriately, preparing your body for sleep. Yoga thus helps entrain your circadian rhythms, that ancient internal clock that governs so many physiological processes. The state of your nervous system is contagious. You unconsciously pick up on and mirror the nervous system states of people around you through mirror neurons and other mechanisms. This is why being around calm people helps you feel calm. When you practice yoga, you're not just calming your own nervous system, you're potentially affecting the people you encounter throughout your day. Your calm becomes a gift you offer to the world, rippling outward in ways you may never fully know. The practice also influences your vestibular system, located in your inner ear, which governs balance and spatial orientation. Many yoga poses challenge your balance, requiring the vestibular system to work in concert with your vision and proprioception. This integration of sensory systems is grounding and centering. When you feel balanced physically, it's easier to feel balanced emotionally and mentally. The metaphor becomes reality, as above, so below, as in the body, so in the mind. Your brain's ability to filter irrelevant information, to separate signal from noise, is crucial for mental peace. When this filtering system isn't working well, you can feel overwhelmed by every sight, sound, and sensation. Yoga and meditation improve this filtering capacity, helping your brain discard unnecessary information while staying attuned to what truly matters. You develop a kind of mental efficiency, able to maintain focus without becoming overwhelmed or exhausted. The practice of self-compassion, often emphasized in modern yoga teaching, has specific neurological correlates. When you speak to yourself kindly, when you treat your struggles with warmth rather than harsh judgment, you activate brain regions associated with caregiving and soothing rather than self-criticism and threat. This isn't just being nice to yourself, it's literally changing which neural networks are dominant in your brain, shifting from patterns that increase suffering to patterns that promote healing and growth. Your brain's prediction mechanisms, always trying to anticipate what will happen next, can be a source of anxiety when they focus primarily on threat. Yoga provides corrective experiences, moments when your predictions of discomfort or failure are proven wrong, moments when you find unexpected ease or capability. Over time, your brain's predictions become more balanced, more open to positive possibilities rather than fixated on negative ones. You develop a kind of earned optimism, based not on denial but on actual experiences of things going better than expected. The integration that happens at the end of yoga practice, particularly during savasana, is crucial. This is when your brain consolidates the benefits of the practice, when new neural patterns have a chance to stabilize. Just as sleep consolidates memories and learning, savasana consolidates the learning that happened during your practice. Skipping this final resting pose is like studying for a test but not taking it. You miss the opportunity to integrate and embody what you've practiced. As we drift even deeper now into this restful night, let all these insights settle softly into your awareness. You don't need to remember every fact, every mechanism. They are all working within you already, your brain's innate wisdom responding to the simple acts of breathing, releasing, allowing. The ancient yogis knew what modern science now confirms, that peace is your natural state, that calm is always available, that your brain and body know the way home to stillness. Rest now in this knowing. Let the last lights dim in the city of your mind. All is well. All is always well. The mechanisms of calm are activated within you, doing their gentle work as you drift into the healing embrace of sleep. Sweet dreams, dear one. May you wake refreshed, renewed, remembering at some deep level that peace lives within you, just a breath away, always and forever. Continue with even softer, slower pacing. And yet, there are still more layers to explore, more gentle truths to discover about how this ancient practice weaves its magic through the fabric of your being. Let us continue our peaceful journey together, floating deeper into understanding, deeper into rest. Consider the concept of neural synchronization, where different regions of your brain begin to fire in harmony, their electrical rhythms aligning like musicians in an orchestra finding their tempo together. During meditation and focused yoga practice, this synchronization increases, particularly in the gamma frequency band, associated with moments of insight and heightened awareness. But paradoxically, this heightened awareness is deeply restful, a state of being fully present without effort or strain. Your brain is working harmoniously, all parts cooperating rather than competing for resources. The blood-brain barrier, that selective filter that protects your brain from harmful substances in your bloodstream, also functions more effectively when stress is reduced. Chronic stress can actually make this barrier more permeable, allowing inflammatory molecules to enter the brain that would normally be kept out. Yoga's stress-reducing effects help maintain the integrity of this protective barrier, keeping your brain's internal environment clean and balanced. It's like maintaining the walls of a fortress, ensuring that only beneficial substances can enter while harmful ones are kept at bay. Your brain consumes approximately 20% of your body's total energy, despite being only about 2% of your body weight. This tremendous energy demand means that anything affecting your metabolism affects your brain profoundly. Yoga influences metabolism in multiple ways, improving insulin sensitivity, supporting healthy blood sugar regulation, and enhancing cellular energy production. When your brain receives steady, reliable fuel rather than the spikes and crashes of dysregulated blood sugar, your mood stabilizes, your thinking clears, and your emotional resilience strengthens. The phenomenon of neurogenesis, the birth of new neurons, was once thought impossible in adult brains. We now know that new neurons continue to form throughout life, particularly in the hippocampus. Stress inhibits neurogenesis, while exercise, meditation, and enriched environments promote it. Yoga combines all these neurogenesis-promoting factors. The movement stimulates growth factors, the meditation reduces stress hormones, and the mindful attention creates an enriched internal environment. Each practice session is literally helping new brain cells to be born, new possibilities to emerge. The glial cells in your brain, once thought to be merely supportive tissue for neurons, are now understood to play crucial roles in brain function and mental health. Astrocytes, one type of glial cell, help regulate neurotransmitter levels and support the formation of new synaptic connections. Microglia, another type, act as the brain's immune cells, clearing debris and fighting inflammation. Yoga's anti-inflammatory and stress-reducing effects support healthy glial function, allowing these cells to maintain the optimal environment for neural health rather than becoming overactive and inflammatory. Your sense of interoceptive accuracy, the ability to correctly perceive your internal bodily states, improves with yoga practice. This isn't just about knowing when you're hungry or need to use the bathroom. It's about sensing subtle shifts in your emotional state before they become overwhelming, noticing the early signs of stress building before it reaches crisis levels. This early warning system, honed through the body awareness cultivated in yoga, gives you the gift of time, the ability to intervene with self-care before small problems become large ones. The orbitofrontal cortex, located just above your eyes, plays a crucial role in decision-making, emotional regulation, and reward processing. This region shows increased activity and improved connectivity in regular yoga practitioners. When the orbitofrontal cortex functions optimally, you make better decisions, you regulate emotions more skillfully, and you find satisfaction in healthier rewards. You're literally strengthening the part of your brain responsible for wise choices and sustainable happiness. The practice of tritaka, or steady gazing at a single point or candle flame, is a traditional yoga technique that affects your brain in unique ways. This focused visual attention quiets the mental chatter, giving your verbal, narrative mind something to do while deeper processes of relaxation unfold. the sustained attention required also strengthens neural networks involved in concentration and focus. And the gentle strain on the eyes, followed by relaxation, can help release tension held in the muscles around the eyes and forehead, areas where many people unconsciously store stress. Your skin, the largest organ of your body, is richly innervated and in constant communication with your brain. The sensation of touch, whether from your hands in prayer position or the gentle pressure of the floor supporting you in savasana, activates the somatosensory cortex and can trigger the release of oxytocin and other calming neurochemicals. This is why restorative yoga, with its emphasis on supported poses and gentle touch, can be so profoundly soothing. Your skin becomes a medium through which peace enters your nervous system. The default mode network, which we touched on earlier, deserves deeper exploration. This network becomes active when your mind wanders, when you're thinking about yourself, remembering the past, or planning the future. While this network isn't inherently problematic, overactivity is associated with rumination, worry, and depression. Yoga and meditation don't eliminate default mode network activity, but they change its quality. Your mind may still wander, but it wanders through more peaceful territories, and you develop the ability to guide your attention back to the present moment with greater ease. The practice of alternate nostril breathing, or nadi shodhana, has fascinating effects on brain hemisphere activation. Research suggests that breathing primarily through one nostril activates the opposite hemisphere of the brain more than the other. By alternating nostrils, you may be helping to balance activity between your left and right hemispheres, promoting whole brain integration. Whether or not this specific mechanism is fully proven, the practice definitely slows and deepens the breath, activating all the calming pathways we've discussed. Your brain's capacity for reconsolidation, the ability to update existing memories when they're recalled, offers profound possibilities for healing. When you practice yoga, especially when working gently with areas that hold tension or trauma, you're creating opportunities for reconsolidation. A memory of stress or pain can be recalled in the safe, calm context of your practice, and when it's stored again, it may be stored with less emotional charge, less power to trigger distress. You're not erasing difficult memories, but you're changing their felt sense, their ability to hijack your nervous system. The vagal tone, a measure of the vagus nerve's function, is a strong predictor of physical and mental health. Higher vagal tone is associated with better emotional regulation, stress resilience, and even social connection. Yoga, particularly practices that emphasize slow breathing and relaxation, increases vagal tone over time. This means your parasympathetic nervous system becomes stronger, more responsive, better able to calm you down when stress arises. It's like strengthening a muscle. The more you practice relaxation, the better you become at it. Your brain's energy state is governed partly by the ratio of different molecules, particularly the balance between adenosine triphosphate, ATP, your cell's energy currency, and adenosine, a byproduct that accumulates during activity. As adenosine builds up, you feel tired, eventually experiencing sleep pressure. Yoga, by improving cellular metabolism and mitochondrial function, helps your cells produce energy more efficiently and clear metabolic byproducts more effectively. This means more sustained mental energy during waking hours and cleaner, more restorative sleep at night. The practice of yoga is, in many ways, a practice of coming home to your body. For those who have experienced trauma, who have learned that their body is not safe, this homecoming can be profound. Trauma-sensitive yoga approaches recognize that gentle, mindful movement can help restore the sense of safety and ownership in one's own skin. From a neuroscience perspective, this involves building new associations in the brain between body sensations and safety, gradually overriding the old patterns where body sensations meant danger. The motor cortex, which initiates voluntary movement, and the sensory cortex, which processes sensation from the body, form a continuous strip across the top of your brain called the homunculus. Interestingly, the representation of different body parts in this neural map is not proportional to their actual size but to their importance and sensitivity. Your hands and face have enormous representation compared to, say, your back. Through yoga, you bring conscious awareness to parts of your body that typically receive less attention, potentially expanding their neural representation and enhancing your overall body awareness. The superior temporal sulcus, a brain region involved in processing biological motion and understanding the intentions of others, may play a role in learning from yoga teachers or videos. Mirror neurons in this and connected regions fire when you observe someone performing an action, helping you understand and potentially imitate their movements. When you watch a skilled yogi move with grace and ease, your brain is already beginning to encode those patterns, making it easier for your own body to access similar states. Your emotional granularity, the ability to distinguish between different emotional states with precision, improves with mindfulness practice. Rather than just feeling bad, you might recognize I'm feeling disappointed and a little anxious about tomorrow's meeting, but also hopeful. This precision matters because it allows for more targeted responses. If you know specifically what you're feeling, you can address it more effectively. The body scanning practices in yoga, where you systematically bring awareness to different body parts, train this same precision at the physical level, which transfers to emotional awareness. The locus coeruleus, a small structure in your brainstem, is the main source of norepinephrine in the brain. This neurotransmitter is crucial for attention, arousal, and stress response. The locus coeruleus is sensitive to breathing patterns, with slower breathing associated with decreased norepinephrine release. When you practice slow, yogic breathing, you're directly influencing this tiny but powerful structure, helping it shift from a state of high alert to peaceful attention. Your breath becomes a direct line to one of your brain's most important arousal centers. The concept of allostatic load refers to the wear and tear on your body and brain from chronic stress. When your stress response system is constantly activated, it's like running an engine at high RPMs all the time. Eventually, parts break down. This shows up in your brain as reduced volume in key structures, impaired cognitive function, and mood dysregulation. Yoga reduces allostatic load through multiple pathways, giving your system a chance to rest, repair, and return to baseline. It's preventive medicine for your brain. Your brain's oscillatory activity, the rhythmic electrical patterns we call brain waves, can entrain to external rhythms. This is why listening to music at a certain tempo can affect your mental state, or why the rhythm of ocean waves is so soothing. In yoga, the rhythm of your breath, the steady pace of movement in a flowing practice, or the repetitive nature of a mantra all provide rhythms that your brain can synchronize with. This entrainment can guide your brain into desired states, whether alert focus or deep relaxation, depending on the rhythm you engage with. The phenomenon of embodied cognition suggests that our thinking is not separate from our bodily experience but deeply intertwined with it. How you hold your body influences how you think and feel. Standing in a powerful pose can increase feelings of confidence. Slouching can increase feelings of defeat. Yoga harnesses this mind-body connection intentionally, using physical postures to cultivate specific mental and emotional states. When you stand tall in mountain pose, you're not just pretending to be strong, you're activating neural and hormonal patterns associated with actual strength and stability. Your brain's ability to inhibit irrelevant responses, to not react to every stimulus, is crucial for mental peace. The inferior frontal gyrus, part of your prefrontal cortex, plays a key role in this inhibitory control. Meditation and yoga strengthen this region and its connections, enhancing your ability to pause before reacting. This pause, this sacred space between stimulus and response, is where freedom lives. You're no longer at the mercy of automatic reactions but can choose your response with awareness and wisdom. The brainstem, that ancient part of your brain that controls basic life functions like breathing and heart rate, operates mostly below conscious awareness. But through yogic breathing practices, you're engaging consciously with processes usually handled automatically. This conscious engagement may help reset dysfunctional automatic patterns. For instance, if you habitually breathe shallowly, conscious deep breathing during yoga teaches your brainstem a new normal, potentially carrying over into your unconscious breathing patterns as well. The sense of awe, that feeling of being in the presence of something vast that transcends your everyday understanding, has specific neurological signatures. It activates regions like the anterior cingulate cortex and can decrease activity in the default mode network. Yoga, particularly when practiced in beautiful natural settings or when you achieve a pose you thought impossible, can evoke awe. This emotion is associated with decreased inflammation, improved mood, and increased feelings of connection. You don't need to travel to mountaintops. Awe is available in the miracle of your own breathing body. Your brain's plasticity is not unlimited. There are critical periods for certain types of learning. But emotional and cognitive flexibility can be enhanced throughout life. Yoga provides the conditions for this ongoing plasticity, novelty, trying new poses, challenge, working at your edge, and reward, the good feelings that come from practice. Each of these elements promotes the neuroplastic changes that keep your brain youthful, adaptable, and resilient, regardless of your chronological age. The practice of santosha, or contentment, one of the niyamas in yogic philosophy, has neurological implications. When you practice contentment, you're training your brain to find satisfaction in what is rather than constantly seeking more. This doesn't mean complacency but rather a deep okayness with the present moment. The brain's hedonic treadmill, always adjusting to new levels of pleasure and seeking more, can be stepped off. You can find genuine peace not when everything is perfect but right here, right now, in this imperfect moment. The sensory gating function of your brain, which filters out redundant or unimportant sensory information, can become dysfunctional under chronic stress. When this happens, you might feel overwhelmed by normal levels of stimulation, like being in a crowded room or even just having multiple conversations happening around you. Yoga and meditation help restore healthy sensory gating, allowing your brain to filter appropriately again. You become less overwhelmed, better able to function in complex environments without sensory overload. Your brain's ability to shift between task-positive networks, focused on external tasks, and task-negative networks, focused inward, is important for mental health. Flexibility in switching between these modes, rather than getting stuck in one or the other, is associated with better emotional regulation. Yoga cultivates this flexibility. You move between focused attention, on breath, on alignment, and receptive awareness, in meditation, in savasana. This practice of shifting modes transfers to daily life, helping you move fluidly between doing and being. The claustrum, a thin sheet of neurons deep in your brain, is one of the most mysterious structures in neuroscience. Some researchers believe it may play a role in consciousness itself, integrating information from across the brain. While much about the claustrum remains unknown, we do know it has high concentrations of receptors for endorphins and other molecules affected by yoga and meditation. This mysterious structure may be part of how yoga creates those ineffable states of unity and peace. Your brain's prediction error signals, the surprises when reality doesn't match expectations, are crucial for learning. If everything happened exactly as you predicted, you'd never learn anything new. Yoga provides countless opportunities for positive prediction errors. You thought you couldn't hold the pose, but you could. You expected tension, but found ease. You anticipated struggle, but discovered flow. Each positive surprise updates your brain's models, expanding your sense of what's possible, building confidence that extends beyond the mat. The practice of ahimsa, or non-harming, starting with non-harming to yourself, can rewire patterns of self-criticism. The brain regions active during self-criticism overlap significantly with those active during physical pain. Harsh self-judgment literally hurts. When you practice yoga with kindness toward your body's limitations, when you choose the modification without shame, you're activating brain networks associated with self-compassion and care rather than judgment and threat. Over time, this kinder internal voice becomes more automatic, more accessible in all areas of life. Your cerebral blood flow, the amount of blood reaching your brain, is crucial for optimal function. Certain yoga poses, particularly inversions and poses where the head is below the heart, alter blood flow patterns. While the brain tightly regulates its blood supply, these temporary changes may have beneficial effects, flushing out metabolic waste products and delivering fresh oxygen and nutrients. Even without inversions, the general cardiovascular benefits of regular yoga practice support healthy cerebral circulation. The concept of neuroplasticity includes both structural changes, new connections forming, and functional changes, existing connections becoming stronger or weaker. Yoga promotes both. Structurally, regular practice can increase gray matter density and white matter integrity. Functionally, the connections between brain regions involved in attention, emotion regulation, and body awareness become stronger, while connections involved in stress reactivity and rumination may weaken. Your brain literally rewires itself to support the states you practice most frequently. The periaqueductal gray, a structure surrounding the aqueduct in your midbrain, is involved in the pain response and has high concentrations of endorphin receptors. It's part of the endogenous pain control system, your brain's built-in capacity to modulate pain. Yoga activates this system, not just producing endorphins but also training your brain to use its pain control mechanisms more effectively. This is one reason why yoga can be helpful for chronic pain conditions. You're not just relaxing, you're literally strengthening your brain's natural pain relief pathways. Your brain's reward prediction error, the difference between expected and actual reward, drives much of learning and motivation. When yoga consistently provides unexpected rewards, like a moment of peace you didn't anticipate or a breakthrough in a challenging pose, these positive prediction errors strengthen your motivation to practice. Your brain begins to associate yoga with positive surprises, making you more likely to maintain your practice even when motivation might otherwise wane. The cingulate cortex, which wraps around the corpus callosum connecting your brain's hemispheres, is involved in many functions including error detection, emotional regulation, and the integration of thought and feeling. Different parts of the cingulate show altered activity during meditation and yoga. The anterior cingulate, involved in attention and conflict monitoring, shows increased activation during focused practices. The posterior cingulate, part of the default mode network, shows decreased activity during mindfulness, associated with less self-referential thinking. Your brain's capacity for top-down regulation, where higher cortical areas modulate activity in lower, more primitive areas, is essential for emotional control. When your prefrontal cortex can effectively regulate your amygdala, you experience emotions without being overwhelmed by them. Yoga strengthens these top-down pathways through repeated practice of staying present with challenging sensations or emotions. You build the neural infrastructure for emotional resilience, the ability to feel deeply without losing your center. The phenomenon of respiratory cardiac coupling, where breathing and heart rate synchronize in specific patterns, is enhanced during yoga. This coupling is associated with improved autonomic function and emotional regulation. When your breath and heartbeat are working in harmony, when you can feel this internal rhythm, there's a profound sense of coherence and wholeness. Everything is working together, all systems coordinated, all parts of you singing the same peaceful song. Your brain's neurochemical milieu, the complex soup of neurotransmitters, hormones, and other signaling molecules, creates the backdrop for all mental activity. Yoga influences this milieu comprehensively, not just increasing one chemical or decreasing another, but helping establish a healthier overall balance. It's not about having high levels of all the good neurochemicals all the time, but about appropriate variability, the ability to mobilize energy when needed and relax completely when you're safe. Yoga teaches your brain this flexibility. The practice of pratyahara, or withdrawal of the senses, is like giving your brain a mini vacation from constant sensory input. In modern life, you're bombarded with stimulation, Screens, sounds, smells, constant information. Pratyahara, practiced through closing the eyes, turning attention inward, or sensory deprivation in restorative poses, gives your sensory processing regions a chance to rest and reset. This rest can actually enhance sensory acuity afterward. After a period of withdrawal, your senses may be sharper, more alive, more appreciative of simple experiences. Your brain's energy efficiency, how much mental work you can do for a given amount of fuel, improves with meditation practice. Expert meditators show less brain activation while performing attention tasks compared to novices, yet their performance is better. This is neural efficiency, doing more with less. Yoga cultivates this same efficiency, teaching your brain to achieve calm states with less effort, to maintain focus without strain, to be present without constantly working at it. The retrosplenial cortex, involved in memory, navigation, and imagination, shows interesting changes in meditators. This region helps you remember the past, navigate physical and mental space, and imagine future scenarios. Altered activity here during meditation may be related to the timeless quality often reported, the dissolution of past and future into an eternal present. Even subtle changes in this region might contribute to the sense of spaciousness, of mental freedom, that yoga can bring. Your autonomic balance, the ratio between sympathetic and parasympathetic activation, can be measured through heart rate variability. Yoga, particularly restorative practices and those emphasizing breath, consistently improves this balance, shifting the baseline toward parasympathetic dominance. This doesn't mean you can't activate the sympathetic system when needed, but that your default state is calmer, requiring less frequent stress responses. Your nervous system learns to idle quietly, conserving energy for when it's truly needed. The practice of dharana, or focused concentration, is like weightlifting for your attention. Each time you bring your wandering mind back to your breath or your body, you're strengthening the neural networks involved in sustained attention. This isn't about never getting distracted. It's about getting faster and more skillful at returning to focus. Over time, your attention becomes more stable, less fragmented, able to rest on one thing without constantly jumping to the next. As these peaceful hours continue to unfold, as you drift deeper into rest, let all these insights become part of the fabric of your being. Your brain knows what to do with this information, even if your conscious mind doesn't remember every detail. The wisdom is settling in, finding its home in your cells, your synapses, your very breath. You are healing, growing, transforming with each moment of rest. Let go now, completely. Trust that your brain, your body, your entire being knows the way to peace. The mechanisms we've explored are all working within you, an intricate dance of chemistry and electricity, of ancient wisdom and modern understanding, all conspiring to bring you home to calm, to stillness, to the deep rest that restores and renews. Sleep well, dear friend. May these hours of rest be profoundly healing, and may you wake knowing, in your bones and your blood, that peace is your birthright, calm is your nature, and rest is sacred. And now, as our journey together draws to a gentle close, as the last words settle softly around you like a blanket, let's take a moment to simply rest in everything we've discovered together. We've traveled far tonight, through the intricate landscapes of your brain, through the beautiful mechanisms that create peace within you. We've met your amygdala, learning to release its vigilant grip. We've witnessed your prefrontal cortex, growing stronger in its wisdom. We've felt the waves of GABA washing through your system, the serotonin brightening your inner world, the endorphins creating their gentle glow of well-being. But here's what matters most: all of these processes, all of these changes, all of this healing, it's happening within you right now. Not someday in the future when you're perfect or healed or finally have it all figured out. Right now, in this very moment, with each breath you take, with each beat of your heart, with each subtle letting go, your brain is doing what it knows how to do. It's healing. It's balancing. It's returning to peace. You don't have to remember everything we explored tonight. In fact, you probably won't, and that's absolutely perfect. Your conscious mind was never meant to hold all these details. But your body remembers. Your nervous system remembers. Somewhere deep within you, in places beyond words and thoughts, the wisdom has settled in. The knowing is there. What you can take with you, what you can carry into sleep and beyond, is something simple. Peace is possible. Calm is accessible. Rest is your birthright. And the path to all of these is as close as your very next breath. Your breath, always your breath, faithful and constant. It's been with you through this entire journey, and it will be with you through the night. Even as you sleep, even as conscious awareness fades, your breath continues. Rising and falling. In and out. A rhythm as ancient as life itself, as reliable as the tides, as gentle as a lullaby. Feel it now, if you can still notice. The soft whisper of air moving in, moving out. Not trying to control it, not trying to change it. Just allowing it to be exactly as it is. And with each exhale, feel yourself sinking a little deeper. Letting go a little more. Releasing into the support beneath you, into the darkness around you, into the peaceful embrace of rest. All those mechanisms we explored, all those beautiful processes in your brain and body, they don't need your conscious attention to work. They continue on their own, wisely, perfectly, exactly as they should. Your parasympathetic nervous system knows when to activate. Your vagus nerve knows how to signal calm. Your hippocampus knows how to consolidate memories. Your glial cells know how to clean and restore. All of this wisdom, built into you, working for you, even now as you drift. And drift you can. There's nothing left to do. No more to learn tonight. No more to understand or figure out or accomplish. The journey is complete. The exploration is done. Now there is only rest. Only sleep. Only the deep, restorative darkness that heals and renews. If thoughts still float through your mind, that's okay. You don't need to fight them or push them away. Let them be like clouds drifting across a vast sky. You are the sky, constant and unchanging. The thoughts are just weather, passing through, temporary and harmless. They'll move on their own, in their own time. You don't need to do anything about them. Your body knows how to sleep. It's done this thousands of times before. Every muscle knows how to release its tension. Every nerve knows how to quiet its firing. Every cell knows how to shift into the restoration mode that sleep provides. You don't need to make any of this happen. You only need to allow it. To give permission. To get out of the way and let your body's ancient wisdom do what it does best. Feel yourself sinking now, deeper and deeper. Like falling into the softest cloud, like dissolving into warm water, like melting into the earth itself. All the boundaries softening, all the holding releasing, all the trying stopping. Just this, just breath, just being, just peace. The city lights in your mind have all dimmed now. The streets are quiet. The activity has stilled. In this gentle darkness, everything can rest. Everything can restore. Your brain, after all its beautiful work, can finally settle into the slow rhythms of sleep. Delta waves beginning to roll through like gentle ocean swells. Consciousness fading like the last light of dusk. And in this fading, this letting go, there is profound trust. Trust that you'll wake again. Trust that sleep will restore you. Trust that tomorrow will come and you'll be ready for it. But tomorrow is so far away. Right now, there is only this moment, this breath, this exquisite letting go. You've done so well. Making it through another day. Carrying all that you carry. Showing up for your life, again and again, even when it's hard. You deserve this rest. You've earned this peace. And it's here now, waiting for you, welcoming you home. Let every sound fade into the background. Let every sensation soften. Let every thought slow and scatter like dandelion seeds on the wind. You're safe here. Protected. Held. Nothing can harm you in this quiet space. Nothing requires your attention. All is well. All is always well. Your heart beats on, steady and strong. Your lungs breathe on, faithful and true. All the systems of your body working in harmony, without your help, without your worry. You can let go completely. Your body knows what to do. And your brain, your beautiful, magnificent brain, can finally rest. After a long day of processing, of thinking, of feeling, of managing, it can sink into the restorative darkness of sleep. The neurons can fire more slowly. The neurotransmitters can rebalance. The glymphatic system can begin its nightly cleaning. All of this happening naturally, perfectly, exactly as it should. Sleep is coming now, or perhaps it's already here. That threshold between waking and dreaming, that soft edge where consciousness fades into mystery. You don't need to try to sleep. You don't need to make it happen. Simply let go, and sleep will find you. It always does. Like gravity pulling you down, like the tide pulling you out, irresistible and gentle and right. Remember, if you remember anything at all, you are safe. You are enough. You are worthy of peace. And peace is here, now, in this breath, in this moment, in this beautiful letting go. Sweet dreams, dear one. May your sleep be deep and healing. May your dreams be gentle. May you wake tomorrow feeling rested, restored, remembering somewhere deep inside that calm lives within you always, just a breath away. The journey continues even in sleep, healing continuing, restoration happening, peace deepening with every moment. You don't need to do anything but surrender to it. Let go. Fall. Float. Fade. Into sleep. Into peace. Into the soft, dark, healing embrace of night. Rest now. Completely. Deeply. Peacefully. All is well.